While hunting around for the next thing to build, I landed on the DDS Studio site over on landing.love, and the landing page stopped me cold. There's this image marquee sliding across the screen, and it seems to track your cursor as it moves down the page, with the text gently reacting and shifting out of the way as it passes by. It's a flavor of interaction we've never covered on the channel. This cursor-led, almost physical kind of motion, so it struck me as the perfect thing to pull apart and rebuild. A few hours of tinkering later, I had a trimmed-down take on it, running with GSAP and SplitText. As you can see, the marquee loops along on its own, leans toward wherever the cursor sits, and the heading and copy below answer back as it glides over them, peeling away and trailing a little ripple behind. The trick is really just a handful of small behaviors stacked on top of each other. The marquee eases toward the cursor. Instead of snapping, we read its speed on every frame, and each line weighs up two things: how near the marquee is and how fast it's moving, then reacts to both. That's the whole reason it feels springy and alive. Across this video, I'll walk you through the full build, starting from the markup, into the styling, and finishing with the animation logic that pulls everything together. If you'd like to grab the source code for this project, along with hundreds of other similar micro projects, and a brand new website template every month, you can check out the Pro membership via the link in the description. And if you find my work helpful, make sure you leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Alright, let's get into the code. First of all, we'll set up the spotlight section, the wrapper that holds the whole experience. Next, inside it, we'll lay down 4 subcontainers: the spotlight nav up top, the spotlight marquee that does the sliding, the spotlight content wrapper with our heading and copy, and the spotlight footer along the bottom. First, inside the spotlight nav, we'll paste in 2 paragraph elements with some dummy copy, an email address on one, and a row of socials on the other. Next, the spotlight marquee. Inside it, we'll add a marquee track, the element that actually slides across. Then inside that track, we'll add 6 marquee items, and each one wraps a single image from marquee image 1 through to marquee image 6. These are the photos that scroll sideways and follow the cursor later on. Next, inside the content wrapper, we'll drop in an H1 reading CG Studio, then an H3 underneath it with a little tagline. After that, a copy div holding 2 paragraphs of dummy text. This is the heading and copy that will react as the marquee glides over them. Next, the footer, just a single paragraph of dummy copy sitting along the bottom to round out the layout, and that's the markup done. Next, let's get to the styling. First of all, we'll pull in our fonts up top, instrument sans and instrument serif, then do a quick universal reset, zeroing out margins and paddings, and setting box sizing to border box across everything. Next, the shared type styles. The H1 gets instrument serif at a big 6 rem with a tight line height, since that's our main headline. The H3 gets instrument sans, uppercased at a smaller size, and the paragraphs get instrument sans too, lighter and smaller with a comfortable line height for reading. Next, the spotlight section itself. We position it relatively, full width and full viewport tall, give it the dark background and set overflow to hidden so the marquee never spills outside the section as it slides around. Next, the nav and footer, which share most of their styling. We absolutely position them full width with some padding, lay them out as centered flex columns, and give their text a muted gray. Then we pin the nav to the top and the footer to the bottom. The nav paragraphs get instrument serif at a slightly larger size, while the footer paragraph gets centered, made quite small, and capped at 30% width so it stays as a tidy little block. Next, the marquee. We absolutely position it at the top left, full width, with overflow hidden and display flex. We also drop will change on transform since it'll be animating constantly, turn off pointer events so it never blocks the cursor, and push its Z index down to 0 so it sits behind the content. Next, the marquee track, the part that actually slides. We set it to flex, with flex shrink 0 so the items never squash, and again add will change on transform. Next, the marquee items. Each one gets flex shrink 0 so they hold their width, a fixed 18 rem wide, and a little horizontal padding for spacing. Then the images inside fill their box completely with object fit cover, get a small border radius, and a placeholder background for while they load. Next, the content wrapper, where the heading and copy live. We position it relatively, set it to 30% width and full height, then lay it out as a centered flex column with some gap and margin auto to keep it in the middle. We give its text white, and here's the important bit. We set mix blend mode to difference. That's what makes the text invert against the images as the marquee passes over it, so it stays readable no matter what's behind it. We also bump its Z index up so it sits above the marquee. Then the heading and tagline inside get centered and capped at a fixed width so they wrap nicely, and the copy block becomes a flex row with a gap with the first paragraph right aligned so the two columns lean in toward the center. Next, the line class. This one's for the split text pieces we'll create later, so we position them relatively, stop them wrapping with white space, no wrap, and add will change on transform ahead of the animation. Finally, a quick responsive tweak. On narrower screens, we shrink the headings down, let the footer paragraph go full width, and widen the content wrapper to fill the screen with a bit of padding so nothing feels cramped. With the styling done, everything's positioned and primed. Next, we'll jump into the JavaScript and bring the whole thing to life. First of all, we'll import our dependencies at the top, GSAP for the animation and SplitText for breaking the heading and copy into individual lines later on. Then we register SplitText as a GSAP plugin so it's ready to use. Next, we'll grab the elements we need from the page, the spotlight section as our outer boundary, the marquee strip that will move around, and the marquee track inside it that holds all the images. Next, we'll set up a config object up top where all our tuning values live in one place. We've got the scroll speed for the marquee, the follow ease that controls how lazily the strip chases the cursor, and an edge inset that keeps the strip from going too close to the top or bottom. Then the content values, a rise rate and a top cap that decide how far the text lifts away, a head start so lines react just before the strip reaches them, the wake strength and reach that shape the ripple, and a subtle ease for how softly each line eases into place. Pulling all of these out here means we can fine-tune the whole feel later without digging through the logic. Next, we'll set up the infinite loop for the marquee. We grab the original items, measure the total width of one full set by adding up each item's width, then work out how many copies we need to fill the screen and clone them onto the end of the track. So instead of running out, the strip always has enough images to cover the viewport. Then we'll animate that track. We tween it leftward by exactly one set's width on an endless repeat with a linear ease, and here's the trick. We use a modifier to wrap the X value back around as it goes, so the moment one set scrolls off, it loops seamlessly without any visible jump. Next, we'll declare the variables we'll be tracking each frame, the strip's base top, its height, and the section height for our measurements, the strip's rest center, and the content's resting top edge, then the strip's target and current positions, its previous position so we can work out speed, and a flag for whether the pointer has moved yet, and finally an empty array to hold our text lines once they're split. Next, we'll write a function called measureGeometry, which reads all our layout values and gets called whenever things change size. Inside, we measure the section height, the strip's top and height, and set the strip's rest center from our edge inset. Then we loop through every text line and walk up the DOM to work out its true center position within the section, while tracking the very top edge of the whole text block as we go. We store that as the content's resting top, which we'll need later to know how far the text can rise. And lastly, if the pointer hasn't moved yet, we drop the strip into its resting position so it sits neatly in place before any interaction begins. Next, we'll split our text into lines. We grab the heading, the tagline, and both copy paragraphs, then run split text over each one, breaking them into lines and giving every line our line class. Inside the onSplit callback, we first clear out any old lines belonging to that element, then push each new line into our text lines array, storing its element along with a rest center, and a current position we'll fill in later. And right after splitting, we call measureGeometry so those fresh lines get measured straight away. Wrapping it in on split like this also means that if the text ever resplits on a resize, our array stays in sync on its own. Next, we'll hook up our listeners. First, a resize listener that just reruns measureGeometry, so all our positions stay accurate whenever the window changes size. Then the mouse move listener on the spotlight section, which is what actually drives the strip. The moment the pointer moves, we flag that it's moved, work out the cursor's Y position relative to the section, and from that figure out where the strip wants to sit. Then we clamp that between a highest and lowest point using our edge inset, so the marquee can chase the cursor freely but never slips off the top or bottom. We store the result as the strip's target, which the ticker eases toward next. Next comes the ticker, where it all comes together frame by frame. First, we ease the strip's current position toward its target with our follow ease and set it on the marquee, so it always drifts smoothly toward the cursor instead of snapping. Then we work out two things: the strip's center on screen and its velocity, which is just how far it moved since the last frame. That velocity is what powers the ripple in a moment. Then we calculate the content rise. We measure how far the strip has dropped below its rest point, multiply that by our rise rate, and cap it, so the text can lift up but never past our top cap. So the further down you push the marquee, the more the whole block of text drifts upward to clear out of its way. Then, for each line, we work out two separate reactions. First, the lift. We check whether this strip plus its head start has reached that line yet, and if it has, the line takes on the shared rise, so it moves up out of the path. Second, the wake. We measure the gap between the line and the strip, run it through a fall-off curve so the closest lines feel it most, then multiply by the strip's velocity and our wake strength, so a quick flick of the cursor sends a ripple through the lines nearby, while a slow drift barely touches them. Then we add those two together into a single target for the line and ease its current position toward it with our subtle ease before setting it. That easing is the soft trailing feel, each line catching up at its own pace instead of snapping into place. And that's the whole build. The marquee loops endlessly, leans toward the cursor as you move, and the text underneath lifts away and ripples in its wake, all from a few measurements taken fresh on every frame. Hope you found this one useful, and I'll catch you in the next one.